Welcome to my channel. My name is Sami, and here's my July wrap-up. Let's go. Ooh, July's finally done. Part of me's like it went so fast. Another part of me feels like it took forever. But it was really good reading month. I read 4 books this month, which is pretty good for me. I always think consistency is better than quantity. In reading, you comprehend more, read less. Okay, so yeah, let's just get right into it. I'll really quickly say my genres of the month. I read one, frankly, recipe book, but it had more writing in it than a typical recipe book. So recipe novel, 2 mysteries, and a nonfiction. Okay, let's get right into it. So the first book I read in July is Recipe for Murder: 66 Dishes That Celebrate the Mysteries of Agatha Christie by Karen Pierce. So I randomly fell upon this book on Pinterest. I'm a big Agatha Christie fan. I will read any book she's written and any book written about her. So basically this author just took the food that are referenced in Agatha Christie books and created a full recipe book of all of them. And obviously not all of them are the exact recipe she just took of during that time, what they would have ate in that time period. And obviously most of it, it is British. So most of the food, not for me. But it was very cool to read about, actually have a recipe for what the characters may have ate. And I just thought it was cool. She also each decade, because Agatha Christie written for a long time, so it's like from the 1920s to the like 60s or something like that. So she goes by each decade and a little blurb for each one about the history and what was going on during that time period, and so why they ate certain things. Either was it available, or then in the future it was more accessible for families to eat. I thought it was really cool because in like the 1920s, 30s time, like these very wealthy British people, they had like servants and chef and pretty much like a whole crew working for them. But then when you get to like the 60s, it's very uncommon to actually have that. It's kind of expected of yourself to do all that work, which I thought that was very interesting to learn about. I am sweating bullets. So I rated this book 5 stars. It's technically, nonfiction, and she would have known how to write these recipes better than I could. So I believe her. And I think it did take a lot of work to, find these recipes, make sure they're historically accurate, and put them in a book together. And I thought that, which is really darn cool. Obviously, most of these I probably would not ever make. Mainly only the desserts I probably would. But it was still really cool to just read and learn about, even if I don't make anything. Highly recommend if you are a fan of Agatha Christie. I really doubt you would enjoy it if you don't know anything about Christie. It doesn't have spoilers, but she does do context of the book that the food is referenced in. So, next book I read, shocker, Agatha Christie. I read the next book that I need to read in the Miss Marple series, so that is Sleeping Murder by Agatha Christie. So this one was very intriguing, and actually I would highly recommend to read this one during Halloween times, October. Very spooky vibes. This, I believe, is first and only paranormal novel of Agatha Christie, and Miss Marple basically tries to maybe solve a mystery of a ghost. And this one was very interesting. I think I read it in like a couple days. I feel like a lot of Christie I do because it's just so, she's very good on the like fast pace most of the time. Some she does have some slower books that are like get to the point, but the majority of the time she's very good at pacing very well. And I can't put the book down because at the end of each chapter she adds some new clue, and you just like, I want to keep reading. So I think she does that very well. Obviously, I'm partial to Pero, but I do have a soft spot also for Miss Marple. Also, I love that she like knits and crochets. She's basically me. And yeah, this one was very interesting. Definitely, it involves a past mystery that needs to be solved, or even Miss Marple questions in the beginning of like some things are better left in the past. Sometimes it's better to not know, you know? And I thought that was really interesting. And I did call this whodunit. I called it, but done in such a good way that I was just so proud of myself that I called it. It was really good. I feel like so far this might be my favorite Miss Marple so far. I really enjoyed it. I read it quickly. Yeah, also the like paranormal aspect of it was really cool too. And you kind of go along the main two characters, you know, investigating, and you go along with them, and that was fun. And then Miss Marvel comes in and saves the day. I definitely recommend it if you are looking for new mystery series. I highly recommend Miss Marvel and Peril. Obviously, it's, you know, a commitment, but honestly, you don't have to read it in like 1 week. No, you don't have to rush. They're not like a continual, like, oh, I need to read the next one to find out this. No, they're very standalones, but uh, with the same character consistently. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, for the most part, I think you could read out order, but like me, why would you? Just read it in the order she wrote it. Why not? Okay, Sleeping Murder, I rated 5 stars. Highly recommend. Really fun. Definitely recommend reading it during spooky time. Really good. The next book I read is A Cyclist's Guide to Crime and Croissants by Anne Claire. I found Anne Claire books through her Agatha Christie bookshop little series, and this video, most of this month was Agatha Christie theme. um, yeah, I really enjoy her series. The little is just so cozy, and like I forget where, Colorado. I think it's in Colorado, but I can't remember where it takes place. But I know there's snow. It's a ski lodge with a Agatha Christie theme bookshop in there. It's Christie sisters, but it's just a coincidence that they have the same last name. They're not related, but I really love that series. So I heard she came out with another series, and well, I'm assuming it's going to continue into a series. Right now, it's just the one book, but it is. I believe the main character is Sadie Green, and she is working as either something with finance or something with numbers. So I'm assuming finance job. And her and her best friend, Jem, Gemma, Jem, something like that. They love to ride bikes together. And Gemma goes riding on her bike by herself and gets hit by a car and passes away. So basically, that really made Sadie make a big change from losing her best friend. So she decides to up and quit her, good job and move to France and buy a bike touring business. And yeah, like that already was crazy. And you get that, not spoiling anything. That's the first like chapter you learn this. And basically, this book, you just follow her doing this bike tour, which I learned so much about bike tours because I knew really nothing about it. I didn't realize how, like, I thought you just did a bike ride one day and you're done. This was like a full, like, journey. You're going and stopping at different parts of France. So that was really cool. So her past boss and his family, they've been really close for like all her life. They come to visit her on the bike tour to try to convince her to come home. And someone on the bike tour ends up dead. And you basically go on from there. I really struggled with this book because I loved Aunt Claire's other 2 books of the Agatha Christie bookshop mysteries. I really enjoyed those. This one didn't hit as good for me. I really struggled staying interested, and also like very heavy bike touring stuff, and I just feel like there's a bunch of chapters where like nothing happened, like no clues, no little hint of who the murderer is. I feel like there wasn't that as good as her other books. So I rated this one 3 stars. Honestly, I would recommend the Agatha Christie series over this one. It was just okay. It wasn't like this mystery was incredible and so many twists and turns. No, not really. And I guessed who I thought it was, and I was wrong, but the one who did do it was like, "Wait, where did that come from?" And it felt very rushed at the end. Like, I felt like it was like, "Okay, wait, we gotta tell them who the murderer is in the last chapter," and it felt rushed. So, not my favorite, probably wouldn't recommend. Unless you're really interested in France and bikes, then go ahead, but I would love to go to France, and I don't know how to ride a bike, but it was okay for me, not my favorite. Last book I read is The Secret Lives of Booksellers and Librarians: True Stories of the Magic of Reading by James Patterson. So this was my nonfiction read. I highly recommend, especially if you truly love reading. This book just makes you feel cozy inside. In this book, just hearing other people's love for reading really just made me so happy. And yeah, just hearing the very sweet stories of it's not just reading, it's so much more. Like, I feel like one was like this one book seller was able to help this girl find a book to come out to her parents, and um another one where like kids would come into the independent bookstores and then one day bring their kids there, and so it's just very sweet, heartwarming book. And also to libraries, how libraries are so much more than just providing books to the community. There's so many resources you don't even know. I would highly recommend checking out your local public library and seeing all the different resources you have no clue they have. Really cool. My library is starting a community garden, which is really cool. Whoa, what are you? Come sit with me. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up quick because there was a huge, like, green iridescent bug flying, attacking me. Birds and any other animals I'm fine with. Bugs, no. Mm. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up quick because I want to get attacked. So yes, the James Patterson book. I rated this one 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I highly recommend if you are a lover of reading, you would find joy in this. Even if you're not, this might help you find joy in reading. And the only con I have for this book is it's way too long for what it is. It's like 300 pages plus long of just a bunch of short little stories from people, booksellers and librarians all over the world, which is really cool, but was a lot of stuff at once. So I would say maybe even cut in half, and it would have been perfect in my opinion, but highly recommend. And yeah, so that's all the books I read in the month of July. My favorite book of the month was definitely Sleepy Murder. Highly, highly recommend. So good. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It means so much to me. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Out of here.